So our next panel is about digital architecture. And in many projects, we see digital and architecture still as two separate disciplines. While architects and designers often think about digital as just a cool canvas they can put in different forms and shapes and sizes to the wall, the digital signage industry usually talks about technology, screen, display sizes, players, and things like that. And I'm very happy to discuss with true digital architects about what it actually takes to bridge that gap. And for that, I'm very happy to welcome here Jenny Hillier from Briggs Hillier in the UK, Sebastian Kemmler from Kemmler in Germany, Michael Schneider from Gensler in USA, and Stuart Caddick from RCD in Dubai. So a really, really international panel we have here. And Sebastian, you just gave us a great presentation on shared spaces, what you did there. And I think the concept is very interesting because it combines different things. And can you tell us, probably for a starter, just some examples where you see shared spaces actually happening in practice?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Sebastian Kemmler. I'm founder and also strategic director of Kemmler. And yeah, we're very much focused on combining immersive retail architecture with digital and social media. We believe, yeah, the future of retail is very much residing with the concept of shared spaces, whereby we mean that retail in the future is not going to be monothematic anymore, but sharing different brands, categories, and functions. And we foresee a bit almost like the retail 2.0 revolution that happened in travel and in hospitality and work to be happening in retail as well. And a great example of that, for example, is the One Base in Berlin, where you feel like you have a gym that is combined with a work office. Then you have, it's from Adidas, you have a shop integrated, you have hospitality, and it's also a photo production house for social media. So you have a lot of functions baked into each other and creates a great experience. Another great example is the Spazio Marci in Milano, where Carhartt came together with the art magazine Kaleidoscope, and Nike's doing a lot of stuff there also, whereby you have a community center, an art piece, but you can also buy and sell stuff there. You have hospitality and amazing kitchens, and you feel what these examples are showing is that the shared economy that is driven by digital innovation is now really transforming the core business model of what retail is about. Yeah. So the digital architecture is not just about putting screens into stores anymore or creating a photo op where you can have like you and your shoe in a funny, superficial way posted to the Instagram, but actually transforming retail in its core and transforming it like other industries have been revolutionized.
Yeah. And these trends have been going on for a while, and we see them developing. But COVID-19 really accelerated these trends. And Jenny, that's a question to you. You did a great piece on the new role of physical retail, where you actually looked at what COVID-19 is changing in terms of retail, what it means to architecture, what it means to design, and what it also means to the use of technology. Can you share some of your insights here?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And I think just picking up on what Sebastian was saying is that COVID-19 has really escalated and brought into the cold light of day trends that were happening already. And obviously it's caught everyone off guard, and because we focus within the retail industry, that's what we are. We're a brand and a retail design agency. We can see the immediate impact that it's had on a lot of our clients and is continuing to have. And I think in terms of developing a digital strategy, I think where some of the bigger brands that have a legacy behind them have struggled is being able to act quickly enough and be nimble enough as a business. And I think the mistake that can be made is thinking that digital can be reversed into a situation to solve problems as a knee-jerk reaction. And that's absolutely not the case. What we believe is that a digital strategy and how you integrate digital within retail has to be part of a complete strategic process, starting right at the beginning to work out what's the right digital for you, because there are obviously so many different types of digital, and just the term digital can be quite frustrating because, what does that mean? It means so many different things to so many different brands and retailers when looking in that arena. And I think the other thing that's really come through from our reports is that there isn't one solution for everybody. There's not a crystal ball to solve this problem. It's about finding the right solution for you as a brand. And that could be anything from very much an experiential digital experience in store, right through to just really basic things that customers demand even more post-COVID, is just for things to work and to be right and to be easy and efficient and enjoyable. And I think it's important not to overcomplicate it and not to think that digital has to be hard. It's about being very honest with yourself at the beginning of a process, being very customer-centric about it, and what does that customer actually want? And as you were saying, Sebastian, it's not about creating, not about having big screens, or as you were saying, Stefan, treating digital as wallpaper. It's really not like that. There's so many different facets, and brands and retailers, I think, have to be bold in being honest with themselves about what's right for them, and not just trying to use the latest thing because it looks cool.
Yeah. So, Stuart, you're attacking the topic from two sides. I mean, one from the digital side, one from the architecture side. And Jenny, you described very well the thing that's happens so often, that digital is only something, an afterthought, really. So, we need a couple of digital things, touch points. Stuart, what do you think? How can providers of digital solutions make it easier for designers and architects to actually apply the great promises that digital holds?
Yeah, thanks. I'm Stuart Cash, which is a consultancy, and Connective, which is a digital integration company based in Dubai. In terms of, obviously, digital is a key layer now that retailers, hospitality, corporate are all using as an integral part of design. And in terms of what technology providers and integrators can do to make life easier for architects, what I'd say is it's really all about education. It's such a fast-moving field. And what a lot of technology providers don't realize is that the likes of architects and designers are all involved in continuous professional development. They all have a lust for learning, whether it be lighting, fabrics, materials. And digital now is such an integral part of any environment that is absolutely key that integrators and technology providers share their insights, share their knowledge, and bring that to the table with designers and architects. Therefore, it's all about being proactive. It's all about creating a team around the mission of creating meaningful digital deployments.
Yeah. Michael, in many of your projects, you're really pushing the limits of technology use, but how do you go about finding these technologies at Gensler? Do you have dedicated people for that in the team that go looking for technologies, or where do you get your digital inspiration from?
It's a mix. Our digital experience design team is about 85 people around the world, and so we try to do as much brain melding as we can to bring the things that we're seeing and share them across our community. We do have a team of creative technologists that are focused on helping to define the medium, and I think one of the things that isn't said out loud, but is the case for our field, is most other fields, even the field of architecture and interior design, there is a very known medium that they're working with. When you get into the digital space, you're inventing the medium and the experience in parallel. And that opens the need for a whole new set of processes, and it really creates the expertise of creative technologists our jobs are to define the medium that is going to work with the story, with the experience that's being designed.
So that sounds very fascinating on the one hand, but also very difficult on the other hand. Can you give us an example of how your team does that, or just one concrete example of a project that you did?
Sure. So we have a client that is, they created a center that's about cybersecurity, right? So you're talking about data and information that's ephemeral. It's stuff that is not tangible. And so we established what the overall storyline was. And then we realized that we needed to create a technological medium that could give a sense of ephemerality, but also deliver a very high resolution data story. And so through a process of, I'd say, 10 different mock-ups and prototypes, we came up with a mixture of dynamically controllable, switchable glass, multiple projections, embedded lighting, surround audio, to really be able to deliver the message, the story of this data, where the medium was true to the story that was being told. So we really rely a lot on rapid, iterative mock-ups, kind of modeling the digital design process of this agile, fail fast, and repeat quickly, but moving that into the more physical and technological space.
Okay, my final question to all of you, with hope for a very, very short answer, is what's a great space for you, and what kind of role does digital play in that? Can you just put it into 1 or 2 sentences? I know that's a challenge. So Sebastian, maybe you want to start.
Sorry, say that again. What is a great space for me?
Yeah, what's a great space, and what role does digital play in that great space?
Well, I think a great space is a place that provides a platform for brands to express themselves. And I think retail in the past was like a predefined user journey floor plan, was pretty much, like, there was a creative vision by some architect, and then it never changed. Like, it would set in stone, and then there's a temple, and that then was supposed to look lovely for 10 years. And I think that the biggest, aspect that has changed about retail and thinking about space today is that you need to think about retail space as a platform that transforms and changes and is liquid and has a modular setup. And that's why suddenly the space is a place that allows you to do something with it creatively, rather than just a predefined structure.
Yep. Jenny, what's your take on this one?
For me, a great retail space is a space that works, that it delivers upon the original brief and provides return on investment, because that's something that's often left out of creative discussions, where all of our clients, ultimately, that's what it comes down to. It's success, it's survival at the moment, and it's return on investment. And the role within the role of digital within that is about providing the right digital for the objectives of that retail space, nothing more and nothing less. And the way to discover that is to go through a strategic process. And that's even more important post-COVID, because the criteria has changed. Yep. What space is right for a brand or retailer before COVID is not necessarily right now. So it's about identifying the right space, the right digital, every element of retail to deliver design that works ultimately.
Okay, that's a very good one, I think, because it reflects many of the things we experience in projects as well. Michael, a short answer to a complex question.
But I think after 4 months of quarantine and working from home, we're all very aware of how important the human experience is in just our daily life. And a great space is a space that embraces and supports the needs of the human. And it sounds like a really basic thing, but when you live in a white box for 4 months, you start to realize it. And so that means differentiation. I think a lot of what Sebastian was talking about these mixed use spaces is about exactly that. We don't want a single purpose. Like, humans are not single purpose experience machines. So we need dynamic, differentiated space that are dynamic, which means they have an identity and yet they can change to support the needs of what's happening in those spaces.
And I guess digital is very well suited to realize this dynamics and this flexibility you can do in these spaces. Stuart.
And
yeah, I think I'm probably going to repeat much of what's just been said. I mean, ultimately, great spaces are the stages for our public lives. You know, they are the facilitators of and enhancers of positive experiences between humans. And between humans and brands. Ultimately, they're about the user. It should bring something special to our daily lives. So the key things like context, concept, and content, that's what it's all about. And in terms of digital, I mean, the beauty of digital, which is why I was being so fascinated with it, is a dynamic layer that, if it's properly deployed, can really reinforce the sense of place or a brand or an experience in a way that the shopper finds directly relatable. We're all used to telling and receiving stories on a screen. The in-store digital experience, to use retail as the example, in many ways should really just be an extension of that experience.
Okay, so thank you very much to all of you. I could go on with this discussion for a very, very long time. And we will be traveling to all these places, hopefully in the next year. So looking forward to discussing with you, and hope to see you soon on one of our stages. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.